This podcast is part of the Listen Frederick Podcast Network. To learn more, visit listenfrederick.com.
The Fedora Files.
Hello and welcome to the Fedora Files. I am Gregory Fedora. I'm back. I know I've had a hiatus for a few days, but that's because I had to work on studio. And so coming back, I had to bring in my number one guest, number one in that he's been here the most. Not that he's that great. Just kidding. Just kidding. No, he's great.
No, you're being brutally honest, and I agree with that assessment. So yeah.
But here he is, Chip Stetson, the poltergeist best friend.
How's everybody doing? And if I'm not here beforehand, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah.
Now, exactly. You're here before Christmas starts, so it's perfect. But
actually, I'm going to be heading to Savannah for Christmas.
Nice.
Well, the day after Christmas, so I'm going to have a lot more haunted stories to talk about because that's one of my favorite locations, and it's also one of the most haunted places in America. So it's going to be a good time.
I just have to say right away that this episode of the Fedora Files is brought to you by the Fedora Files. Creatures Are Stirring, a creepy Christmas collection. Get it on Amazon. It's there. I think it's $10, but it's got all kinds of stuff, art and stories about all kinds of different creatures from Christmases past and so on. And of course, Transcendental Tourist Volume 1 by our very own Chip Stetson. If you've not read this and have not gotten it, you need to. I've actually read it. I actually did read it. Not only did I help you put it together, I read it after it was done. Not just because I wanted to make sure that it was all right, but I actually read it now twice.
Grammatically, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the first time I read it was to make sure everything was right. Yeah. Second time was to enjoy it, and I did enjoy it. It's
good.
Yeah, and you did it. I mean, I'm giving you kudos. You are actually are talented at something, and you're a good writer. And so you make it enjoyable. If you guys have not seen it, it's basically history of a bunch of different places. I don't want to say what ones because I want you to get it, but he tells you the history, tells you the ghost stories, and then he tells you his own personal experiences at these places. So it's not just places he looked up the stories about. He's actually been to them, and that's why it's called Transcendental Tourist, because he actually goes to these places and he's debunked some of the more popular ghost shows on what they say happened.
Yeah, they tend to like to exaggerate. Because I mean that draws people in, and I think
we've talked about it so many times, and we won't go into what adventuring people do that, but anyway.
Yeah, the ghost ones that are doing the adventuring. Yeah,
and fighting ghosts, whatever. Whoever, whatever. Fight invisible people. It's fine.
I do like the martini glass.
Thank you. This is actually we moved
it's more of a goblet, ain't it?
Yeah. It's what's different. I think I need to do pinky extended, and I'm drinking mead tonight. Everybody, this is mead.
And the goblet is appropriate.
Yeah. Oh, and not that these people sponsor me, but they're down the road from me. Orchard Cellar mead. Yeah. You and I went there. The Orchard Cellar mead.
Wonderful time, and they have amazing mead. Absolutely.
Yeah, they do. This is actually a limited edition Jester, and as you can see, mine is coming to the end of its limit. So I've enjoyed it. I might have to go pick up another one just because they only did a small run of the Jester, but all their different meads are really good. So.
That looks really good. Like I said, the ones we tried with the flight that they offered for the meat, that was absolutely incredible.
They have another one. It's called the Night. It's a darker mead, and it is really good.
Really, because I think we went the other route.
Yeah, we did no, I just got their Night one, and it was so good. I was like.
Nice.
I was like, I'm a sucker for names and art. And so it said Night on it. I'm like, oh, it's a Night. And so then thankfully, and I think I may have said this before in my podcast, I get sucked in by artwork and names. And sometimes it's a hit. Sometimes I end up with a whole bottle of something that I will never drink again. And it's just there. But the artwork was great. So, but anyway, we're not here to talk about drinking. We can do that another show. You, sir, you published your first ghost book, which is great, and I've given it to people, and we've sold a few of them at some different events. But
Yeah,
I've given it to people who love it.
We were at
And
the Blair Witch one just this past fall.
yeah, and I actually sold some I was at a thing in West Virginia. It was a cryptid Halloween, and I sold some there for you as well. People were kind of bummed you weren't there because they wanted to get it signed, but I was like, I signed them because my name's in the back. But I was like,
yeah,
I was like, I'm sorry, I don't have Chip here to sign it for you. So, but next year, I think you might have to come to this one. And we need to find some festivals up by you that we can get at. I know there's a few.
Oh, I'm sure we can find a few up here in Ohio. I mean, there's a lot of haunted stuff up here. However, like you said, what we were doing here, it was talking about my latest trip.
Yes.
And
let's get to that.
Yeah, that was to Tombstone, Arizona, which has been a bucket list visit for me. Now, I know you know, but everybody else doesn't. I was raised by Texans. So while you guys were getting Mother Goose, I was getting Billy the Kid, you know. I love cowboy stories. And while we were there, the one place I didn't go was Fort Sumner, which I wanted to, but we were running short on time. That's where Billy the Kid supposedly got shot and is buried. And all that.
Somebody's buried there.
Yeah, but we did make it to where Wyatt Earp, Doc Holliday, and
Calamity Jane.
No, she was up in Deadwood.
Oh, Deadwood. Yeah, all right.
Yeah, but OK Corral, and this place it did not disappoint. It was absolutely incredible. I say that a lot about places that I've gone, but having been on my bucket list, this was someplace I wanted to go. It did not disappoint. I got to see the OK Corral. I got to see the Crystal Palace. I've got to see the Oriental. There's a bar there now called Big Nose Kate Saloon. I was at the Birdcage Saloon. I got to see Boot Hill. I mean, everything about this place was absolutely incredible. I got to do a ghost walk around town late at night after all the tourists and everything were gone, learn some about the history of Tombstone. And I had the best time I think I could have possibly asked for. I mean, I was not disappointed. I was able to go to the Birdcage Saloon. This was a trip that I did with my dad. And, this wasn't anything that was set up previously and talked to owners to spend the night. And, I just did a regular ghost tour to see how everything went. And they did a really good job at the Birdcage Saloon. While I was there, I met a couple of girls that were from Pittsburgh. And since they were Midwest and I was from Ohio, we ended up hanging out. We both went on a ghost tour after we left that place, but theirs was with one place and mine was with another. I kind of wish that I would have gone with them just because the one that I went on, it kind of focused on one story alone that took place there. And while it was an interesting story, I kind of wanted to hear more, more is better for me. But no, while I was there, talk to people at the OK Corral. I've sent you pictures. You're going to see pictures in the next volume that come out. It's going to be focusing on Tombstone. They have a bunch of mannequins set up in the OK Corral, lined up where Wyatt Earp himself said everybody was standing during the shootout. Funny enough, historians are saying that they don't believe that's where everybody was standing and where it took place. They believe it took place outside on the streets of the OK Corral because, who would you rather take the word of? Somebody that was actually there or a historian from, 150 years later? Oh, no, it didn't take place. He said it took place there, but we believe it took place over here. So I have a problem with historians sometimes when it comes to things like that. But it was absolutely incredible. They said with that place, they do see a lot of shadow people. Ghosts, not necessarily, like skinwalkers or anything like that, but just dark shadows, no faces, moving around late at night. And they also said you can hear gunshots. I didn't witness any of this because I went during the day. I got to see their little shootout play that they have like 4 times a day with actors, which look, that's not why I went to Tombstone, but I was there, so I figured, what the hell, I got to take in the whole experience. Yeah. Now, another place I visited, like I said, was Big Nose Kate's. This place is kind of interesting.
That's kind of rude, isn't it? Like to make fun of her nose like that.
Well, she was Doc Holliday's girlfriend, and that was her. That's how
what she was known.
Yeah, yeah. Everybody knew her as Big Nose Kate. She did not actually open this place. It was originally opened as a hotel called the Grand Hotel in Tombstone. Now, Tombstone did have a couple of fires that burned nearly the entire town down 2 years apart, I believe. So at the time it was the Grand, it burned down, was rebuilt. And I'm not sure if it was during before the first fire or the second fire, but they had a man living in the basement. He was known as the Swamper because they needed a custodian, and custodians back then apparently were called swampers. But while he was down there, he dug a hole in the bottom of the floor of the Big Nose Gates or the Grand Hotel and broke into a mine that ran under the town of Tombstone. So apparently he was like, breaking in, stealing stuff, coming out, finding his own ore, whatever. Mm-hmm. Kind of reminded me of the Scooby-Doo villain, the minor 49er, kind of the same thing. He was stealing stuff from a mine, he lived above and, he built the hole in and all that. So,
so did you find him and find out who he really was?
I did not.
Face off?
He did that. I was trying to remember. Mr. Jenkins, was that the guy's name?
Yeah.
It's always it was him.
It was really Mr. Jenkins all the time, and he would have gone away with it too if it wasn't for Chip Stetson. No, if it wasn't for Chip Stetson and these two girls from Pittsburgh.
Yeah, well, no, that was at the Birdcage.
I know, but I had to bring them back.
So I don't. After the guy died, he wasn't really relevant, and after the second fire burned down, people were, it'd gone through a number of hands. Somebody was building it up. Now it has a gift shop in the basement. And it used to be that the stairs to the basement were on the outside of the building. They've installed them in the center of the room with a spiral staircase, which I went down, visited after having dinner and a beer there. And they still have his room cordoned off, and it's barred, and you can see how they think he lived. Before they discovered this, though, they were doing renovations in the basement, and they came across the hole, and they're like, "Hey, the owner you went up to one of his employees and said, you want to go exploring with me?" And the guy was like, "Yeah," so him and two other employees went down the hole into the mine and started navigating through until they found out which mine it was connected to. I think it was called like the Tough Boot or something like that. Anyways, that's irrelevant. As they're going back, so because they didn't want to get lost, trapped underground, made their way back. And as they're walking up the ladder, they heard somebody running around and moving stuff on the upstairs. They're like, "Somebody's in the hotel." He's like, "That's impossible. I locked the front door." And as they're climbing up, they hear somebody yell and a loud moan, and they're freaking out. So they get out of the hole, they turn on all the lights, they're searching the basement, they run upstairs, they're searching the entire first floor. Nobody's there. Go to the second floor, nobody's there. Everything's still locked up. So that was the first encounter that anybody had with, well, they call him the Swamper, I'm calling him the minor 49er. But this is a regular reoccurring ghost and entity. Okay. I mean, he walks around, he moans, he screams, and makes you feel like you're not alone. Now, the place that I spent the most time at was the Birdcage, because that's the most famous. They've got bullet holes still riddling the walls in different places there. There were a number of different ghosts that they talked about. One is a child that can be seen usually from one of the balconies. Now, the Birdcage was supposed to be a high-class theater, but the dancing girls that were there also acted as prostitutes, and they somehow circumvented all the laws so they could be on the main strip of Tombstone. And I don't know how they did it, politics, but they think that the kid might have been somebody that worked there as like the front or a barker trying to get people into the club. While we were there, there was a lot of it sounded like a metal chair being dragged across the floor. Yeah. And this happened about 3 different times that night. The lady said that, while you're there, if you go upstairs behind the stage, they have like a mini museum. They have a funeral carriage. And she said that she has felt a dark entity that lives not so much in the carriage, but underneath it. And there's been times when people have stood there, feel touched, or they've taken a picture and they can see a reflection of somebody's face in the glass, because it's one of those glass, like horse-drawn wagons, and also electrical devices tend to, get drained whenever they're around there. There's also a downstairs that used to be a bar where they had like one of the most expensive poker games ever played. If you're down there, they've got dollar bills littering the place. It's, all set up and things like that. But it's a wonderful town. The people there are absolutely, the most incredible people. They're friendly. They're outgoing. The food there, at Big Nose Kate's, we ate there, and it was absolutely great. Didn't have the waitresses were fantastic. They had live entertainment. There was a guy playing just keyboard with a drum machine, but he was great. And no, I can't wait to go back and visit again. I'm disappointed it took me 50 years to get down there in the first place.
What'd you eat at Big Nose Kate's? What'd you get?
You know
Did
what?
you get a booger? I mean, burger.
Burger, yeah, it was a giant booger, and it was a double decker.
Yeah.
It was greasy, dripping off the sides.
They had green sauce.
Oh yeah, that was avocado. Yeah,
I had to go there.
No, it was a lot of fun. After that, we also went through Roswell, which didn't spend a whole lot of time in, but I got to visit the museum, the UFO museum.
Okay,
that was kind of interesting. I got some good pictures. Read a lot. I mean, what do you expect in a museum like that? It's not like they have downed air, UFOs on display or anything like that, or actual photographs. Everything's redacted. FBI files, so they have this huge thing. Look at all this information. Everything's black.
I got some redacted stuff behind me. If you can, this is like some of the footage from about JFK and stuff. This whole this area right here. It's all redacted.
How is that? It just seems like all of a sudden Kennedy's back in the news. How did that happen?
I don't know. There's something's going on in the world they don't want us to know about. That's why.
So they're distracting everybody.
UFOs, Kennedy.
Yeah, when they start acknowledging UFOs too, hey, look at this. Government just released this.
Yeah, we got UFOs. Stop looking over here. UFOs.
Yeah, don't look at Hunter Biden's laptop, but look at UFOs.
Wow.
Getting into the.
You just went.
I want to stay out of that. I want to stay out of that.
Yeah. Yeah, you probably do want to stay out of that laptop, though. I'm just.
Oh God, yeah, I don't want to get hepatitis or something.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, I think we just lost half the audience there.
No, they'll be back. So anyway,
right. That's like
you're working on volume 2 of Transcendental Tourist.
I am,
now,
and like I said, I'm going to be heading down to Savannah, and that I think is going to be the focus of either the 3rd or the 4th. Because you and I still need to go back to Gettysburg, and we also already have stories about that place. So that I think is going to be number 3. So so I'll have Tombstone, and then Gettysburg, and then Savannah after that, and then after that probably Texas. I could do in Ohio. Just work my way around the country until I get one of every state.
Yeah, we gotta get one every state. You need to do one, man. That's the goal.
Absolutely.
That is the goal. $50.
Yeah, because I've got plenty of time.
We just do one a year.
Yeah.
So by the time you're 100, you'll be done. So.
Yeah, I think I can do better than that. I hope.
No, I think you can, man. I think.
Like I said, these books aren't like real writing for me. I mean, it kind of reads like you're reading a diary entry or a journal entry or something like that. I mean, it's my experiences, the history. Because I don't want to just talk about the place without explaining how it got to be haunted. You have to know the history to appreciate what you're looking at now.
Yeah. And I think not to toot my own horn, but I think we did a good job on the design. Like it's not your typical book where it's I mean, there's like some cool art stuff going on in here.
There's art stuff, there's photographs. I mean,
it's like
just the insets that you put in there. I mean, everything absolutely incredible.
I mean, and even in the back of the book, I just want people to see these in the back because I'm actually proud of these because these are actually photos you took.
Yes.
But then I
enhanced them.
I enhanced them and made them look very sketched and like art, and like that's one. Like I can't flip pages.
That makes it look like old and aged.
Yeah. But I mean, it's like it looks almost like they're hand drawn as opposed to a photo.
No,
And
those are
these were,
very cool.
yeah, but you did a great job on photography, which made
Well,
it
thank
easy to do the other stuff. So, but I just want people to see your stuff because like I said, it's interesting, it's cool. It's actually I've read ghost books, and I'm not really the most ghost paranormal savvy person. That's not my forte so much because
Yeah.
I do scare easily with that kind of stuff. And it's
Well, remember when you and I were, grade school, they had the
yeah,
Scholastic Book Club,
yeah,
and there was one, I can't remember what it was called, but they came out with a ghost story book, and
yeah.
it was like this one, Scholastic, series. I don't remember. Anyways, they had one just on ghost stories. I remember reading that like 50 times. Not
Yeah.
only was it ghost stories, it was UFOs, it was Bermuda Triangle,
Mm-hmm.
it was Titanic,
Oh yeah.
Bigfoot. And I just was fascinated with everything like that young, like around
Mm-hmm.
5 or 6. And then we had to do those library reads where you get the free Pizza Hut pizza if you hit
Yeah.
like 50
If you
books or
did.
something like that. Everything that I read had to do with ghost stories or UFOs or something like
Yeah.
that. It was just that's what always interested me. So
Yeah, that was the same with me. And then when that's kind of part of why I started doing my books as well, and like why I wanted you to do your book, and I pushed you to do it. And now it's great.
I'm glad you
But
did. It
yeah,
was a lot of
but
fun.
like you said, like growing up, like it was very like there were some ghost books and Bigfoot books and monster books and UFO, but they were, to me there is a lot of writing and not so much like pictures or
Yeah,
photos or art. It was like maybe one picture per chapter, and
right.
I'm very visual,
Yeah.
and so I wanted it. So like with your book, it has a lot of writing and has a lot of info, but we inundated it with a lot of like photography and some drawings and some art, and like it's mixed with it. So there's a lot of like, so when people read what you're talking about, they're getting to see it. So it's not just like, and then in this part of the prison is like you're seeing that area, and we enhanced it, made it look really cool, and
Or what you did
so
with Bobby Mackey's, where you showed what it looked like,
oh yeah,
you know,
yeah, yeah,
60 years ago. I mean, just, shows the progression of how it is, from, well, we wouldn't have been able to get one of it when it was first
yeah,
created, because I mean, it was just, I don't even think they wasted photography on that.
yeah,
But, all through, the different hands that it changed up till
yeah.
now, and you were able to find some of those. That was fantastic. So,
Yeah, that when the mafia owned it, and like,
yeah.
I find that's thing, like I don't want to get into like getting mad at ghost shows, but they kind of gloss over that era of the area. They go from it was a slaughterhouse to these,
Well, and that's the thing. You know
yeah,
what? It was never a
never
slaughterhouse.
yeah. But I mean, they
There's
always,
no record of it ever being a slaughterhouse.
and that's the thing. But like when you hear slaughterhouse, but yeah, it's where a slaughterhouse is where they kill, you know, pigs and cows. Like,
Yeah.
how's that turn something into an evil haunted place? Like, there's so
Well,
many.
they just got evil cows,
Yeah, maybe, but like, I'm like, when I hear, well, slaughterhouse, unless you mean they've gathered a bunch of people and slaughtered a bunch of people, but no, they're
Right.
talking about animals being slaughtered, and that doesn't really. If they're just being slaughtered to be eaten,
Would you be
fine.
scared if
Yeah.
you heard a ghost moo?
No, I mean, if
Yeah.
there's a ghost cow, I just like, well, is it like lactose free? Is like,
Yeah.
yeah, because I get stomach aches from the,
Yeah.
but maybe ghost cow milk, I'd be, yeah, I don't
Well, they
know.
got what, every other kind of milk. They got
Yeah,
almond. They've got
yeah,
what, soy. They've got
yeah,
duck. I don't know.
yeah. Go. I don't think they got duck milk. I don't think ducks
Uh,
have nipples.
oh, almonds do.
No, true. But I'd be afraid what's going on with duck milk, because I've seen the anatomy of a duck, and that frightens me.
Yeah.
I won't go into it any more than that.
Yeah, I won't ask any questions either.
So, of why or how. No,
Yeah,
but yeah.
I don't know what circumstances led to needing to watch or look at the anatomy of a duck.
All I know is that Donald should wear pants.
Oh yeah, and Mickey needs to put on a shirt.
Yeah. What's wrong with him?
Quit borrowing each other's clothes.
Yeah. And how come the lady folks in Disney all wear full clothing, but the dudes either have no pants or no shirt? I don't get that.
It's the new Disney, I guess. I don't know.
I don't know, but no, that's the old Disney. They all were wearing crazy. Don't go down another hole, man. Don't you dare. Man, we already lost half the people with your other statement.
Yeah, I know. I can't badmouth Disney.
Yeah, stop it.
But you said don't go down the rabbit hole. They had Alice in Wonderland, so
Oh yeah, true. So next up is Savannah.
Savannah, yes.
And that's going to be book 3 or 4.
Yeah, I think Gettysburg needs to be 3, so Savannah will probably be 4. But Texas is going to be up there. I wouldn't mind going down and doing ones primarily with like Kentucky, Louisville, Bardstown, places like that. I mean, Bardstown, the Tarbet Tavern, which is also a bed and breakfast. When I stayed there last time, we stayed in I think it was called the General's Room. George Patton stayed there when he was overnighting. You stay there one time and you're famous. All of a sudden, that's your suite. Yeah. But there was a ghost show there, and they were doing an episode of Tarbet House. Cool. And there's a room where I think they said it was God, who was it? Jesse James, I think.
Jesse James.
He shot somebody. He saw a shadow, thought it was a person. He took a shot. Bullet hole still in the wall. There's plastic covering the entire wall, so it can't get damaged or touched. But they're talking about that and the different specters that they've seen there. Talked a little bit with the crew. They were really nice people, but it was kind of hard because they were filming. But no, I'm not sure what network, what streaming service, or what the show was called, but I'd like to find out because I was there, and it's an interesting house. Has the oldest bourbon bar in America located there. Not that impressive, but they do have a lot of bourbon. But the interior is just kind of bland. It's like they tried to fix it up and then just said, "Why bother?" One of those things.
Yeah, maybe like eventually there will be a Stetson room at one of these places.
That would be very cool.
Yeah,
there probably already are, just not me. Yeah.
But you could pretend. Yeah. Oh, that's because of me. Yeah, the Chip Stetson. So it's just Stetson's. Yeah, they just cut the chip off because there's too much to say.
As long as I don't become as annoyingly popular as Mahomes and Kelsey, they're on like every television commercial made now.
Yeah.
Making me really
because that'd be annoying if you ended up having to date someone like Taylor Swift.
No, not annoying dating her, just listening to her.
Yeah. Wow.
Sorry, Taylor.
There we go. And there's the rest of our audience gone.
And there's the rest of the audience. Why do you keep having me on?
Yeah. Well, there you go. Yeah. Thanks for stopping by, Chip. Now my niece is going to be angry.
Look, Taylor, she's probably a cool chick. I'm old school country,
I know.
Yeah. In fact, I saw the Highwaymen played, which, while they were kind of new, it was all old country. Waylon Willie, Chris Christopherson, Johnny Cash. It was a lot of fun. Oh, absolutely incredible.
Yeah, that would have been cool. They're not going to be all getting together anytime soon.
Well, not until the other two kick it, and then they can.
Well, maybe they'll get together, but we won't get to hear them.
Yeah, we won't be able to see
them anytime together soon. They'll be playing together soon. It's only a matter of time. No,
the Hillbillies play harps.
I bet there's guitars up there. Come on.
Well, there's got to be. If it's heaven, everything's happy. Then you got to be able to play with.
But will Johnny Cash be allowed to walk in black? That's the other question.
That's a good question.
I bet you got to let him.
I think you got to pass.
Yeah,
you got grandfathered in or something.
Yeah, exactly. You're welcome to wear black. Oh, there's Johnny.
But only him. Yeah. He's easy to spot.
Yeah. Well, he's the man in black, so nobody else claimed that. So, but yeah. Well, I know you got an early day tomorrow, so I don't want to keep you going. And we're doing this pretty late at night.
Yeah, I'll be up in a few hours.
Yeah.
But, it was worth it because we hadn't done one of these in a while, so this was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we'll do another one. You're going to come back soon, and we'll do some stuff. Yeah. Like
especially
I might try
right after I get back from Savannah.
Yeah, when you get back from Savannah. And there's a possibility you might get to see Chip on another podcast. He's
That's
going to
right.
be jumping to another podcast, not his own, but he's going to be a guest on another. We'll let you know about that. I am also going to be on another podcast. And if you follow me on Instagram, you can find all that out. Remember to follow Chip on Instagram.
And remember, if
me.
you haven't liked him yet, make sure you follow him.
Yeah, exactly. And remember to pick up Transcendental Tourist Volume 1 before Volume 2. And you know what? Here's what we're going to do. What we're going to do right now, Chip. We're doing a
All right.
giveaway.
Ooh,
You ready? Giveaway.
yeah.
If you guys can name what singer Chip doesn't want to listen to but would date, comment below. We will get you an autographed copy of Transcendental Tourist Volume 1. And it's going to be the first 2 people. Actually, here's what we'll do is whoever does it, we're going to put it into a raffle, and then I will do a show who won, and 2 people will get a autographed copy of Transcendental Tourist Volume 1, signed by Chip and me. We'll do
Nice.
both.
Very
and
cool.
We'll send it out. So just remember, comment below who was the singer that Chip would date but not want to listen to. And there you go. We did a giveaway in the middle of it.
That's perfect.
Yeah, so that's the deal. That's what's going on. Chip, thank you. Tell
Oh,
your
it was
father.
my pleasure. I had a
Tell
good
your
time.
dad I said hi. He's like your sidekick. One day we'll have to have him on the show and get
that'd be a good idea.
Yeah, get his side of the story of the. Actually, I don't think I want to because he has stories about me, and I don't want him to
Yes, he does.
Yeah, so never mind. Tell your dad forget about it. Don't even bring it up.
Yeah, well, I'll have him accidentally walk in while we're filming sometime and just say
Didn't
hi.
he do that before? Like,
Yeah.
he accidentally walked in.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah.
And he didn't say hi or anything. He just like walked in and shut the door. And he's probably like, oh my gosh, those 2 are at it again. What the?
Yeah.
Like, I thought with them moving away, I wouldn't have to see that guy. But no.
Yeah. Well, as soon as
Wow.
we moved back together, it's like everything just started all over again.
Yeah, it's like you guys are like the odd couple. It's like
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the even, I'm the odd. Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. Well, thanks again for coming on.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me. I had a good time.
And we will have you back in January after you get back from Savannah. I'll talk to you before that. We talk all the time. So, but
I'll talk to you. I'll probably talk to you tomorrow.
Yeah. So, for the rest of you who stopped by, thanks for checking in on us. Thanks for listening. And as always, stay safe. Oh yeah, putting up with us. And if you're still listening after the offensive things Chip said, not that they're really offensive, but if you were offended by Chip and left, come back. He won't be on next week. So
that's a great selling point.
Yeah. As always, stay safe and keep searching.
The Fedora Files.
Check out fedoracrt.com today.